So the coronavirus is very serious, and I don't know why I didn't think I wouldn't have to talk about this. I kind of assumed that I just wouldn't be talking about it because why would you? I mean, I talk about apps, I talk about the gig economy, I talk about streaming, I talk about Disney pushing around elementary school kids. Check out that video from earlier today. But I don't talk about politics that much unless it relates to these things, and I don't talk about health crises. Unfortunately, I mean, maybe in my naivety, I should have realized I would have had to talk about the coronavirus because, of course, the coronavirus, it's spreading. It's spreading at a pretty alarming pace. And, of course, the question remained, what about Uber, Lyft, Postmates? What about all these gig apps where people are coming into contact with complete strangers? Heck, would people even want to do this job right now with the risk out there? There's so much to consider, and there's actually now two stories that I want to talk about on this one. But before we begin, hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first... Oh, excuse me, I just hiccup there. If this is your first time here and you happen to like these videos, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell notification. We upload on a near daily basis, and you will want to be notified of when those videos go up. So this was actually asked... I was asked this on Sunday night's live stream. I didn't really know what they were talking about, but now I do, so I'm a little late talking about it, but here you go. Where Uber has temporarily shuttered 400 and 240 accounts in Mexico because of the coronavirus. Now, here's where it starts getting tricky because as of this recording that I'm aware of, it could change. This thing is spreading fast enough that full disclosure, any information in this video could just easily be outdated the next day or two. But I don't think Mexico has had any accounts of the coronavirus. Like, let's look at this. Uber confirmed Monday that it's temporarily suspended roughly 240 users' accounts in Mexico to prevent the spread of the coronavirus. The virus was first discovered in the Wuhan region of China late last year, but has since been found in at least 20 other countries, including, like, by the way, 10 miles from where I live, including in Europe, the Middle East, Australia, and the US. In a statement on Twitter Saturday, Uber said it suspended the account in Mexico because those users had come in contact with two drivers possibly exposed to the virus. But here's the thing. As of the writing of this story, no cases of coronavirus have yet been confirmed in Mexico. So what's going on then? Well, Uber said it received information from Mexico City's health department about one of its passengers who was identified as a possible carrier of the virus. Because of that information, the ride-hailing company temporarily suspended the accounts of two drivers who transported the individual, along with about 240 passengers who came in contact with those drivers. Here's why this is a complicated situation. I'm not going to say I entirely... how should I put this? I'm not unsympathetic to Uber's plight in this one. I'm not. This thing is spreading fast, and unlike the SARS virus, which you could basically, the symptoms showed up right away, the coronavirus, once you catch it, basically 2 weeks will go by before you start showing symptoms. It'll be about 2 weeks before you start showing symptoms. And by the way, the irony of me making this video is, like, I was actually a little under the weather because of a slight fever yesterday. It seems to be going down a little bit, but you know, that you kind of wonder. But here's the other thing: if you're a customer and, like, you're depending on Uber, or heck, you're a driver, you're depending on Uber to drive around, and you get deactivated over some over precaution, well, your transportation is gone, or your livelihood is gone, maybe, and you were not notified, and technically Uber has a right to do it, and in fact, you know what? I suspect as this gets worse and worse, we might actually start seeing more and more lockdowns. I don't want to freak everyone out. You know, I'm a glass half full kind of person. You know, I kind of remind people, hey, look, the amount of people who are infected, they are growing, but the amount of deaths are fairly low. Like, it's less than 2% of the cases have died. So let's calm down just a little bit. We are not going to be wiped off the face of the earth in 2 years, most likely. Here's the thing. Other modes of travel have also been curtailed because of the coronavirus, which is said to have infected more than 17,000 people and killed more than 300. Okay, so the death toll definitely. Well, the death toll definitely rose, but I mean, look, 17,000 people, that's nothing to sneeze at. 300 people, that's nothing to sneeze at either. But again, the ratio, I wouldn't be surprised if most of these 300 were in the strictly impoverished parts of the nations, in countries that did not have the medical advancement that most of us do. So, obviously, some airlines have suspended travel. So, Uber said, we have a dedicated online portal for public health authorities to contact Uber for information about riders and drivers. We will take action on any user accounts on the recommendation of those authorities. So here's like the silver lining on this story, as I will say. Uber got their information from health authorities. I'm a little concerned, though. What if you're a passenger and you're in an Uber one day and the driver sneezes? Or they say they have a stuffy nose, something like that. If that person gets out, are they going to say, like, hey, this person sneezed, I think they've got the coronavirus, and is Uber going to just suspend that driver or passenger? And heck, if that, in fact, if that driver gets accused because, say, someone wants a free ride, because this could actually be exposed if you want a free ride, I hate to say it. Are all the passengers who took rides with that Uber driver, because that driver got accused, are they all going to have their accounts deactivated too? Like, this is where it starts getting scary. This is where people start panicking. And by the way, this isn't the only issue. Because apparently, as the coronavirus panic spreads, and it is a panic right now, I mean, look, it is growing. Again, it's growing. I know this is a serious issue, but try not to panic. It doesn't do you any good to panic. But anyway, Uber and Lyft riders of Asian descent are reporting discrimination from drivers. So this is where it actually starts getting sad. This kind of reminds me of the AIDS crisis a little bit. Eric Hahn, who works in a Microsoft retail store in Seattle, not even China, told CNBC that he called an Uber on Monday, stepped into the car, and coughed. It was a cold day. His driver immediately asked if Hahn was from China, and he responded that he was not. The driver commented that his cough meant he might have the coronavirus and opened a window. I don't have it, said Hahn. I'm from the U.S. Hahn recalled the driver responded, whatever you say. I'm not one to take offense very easily, so I wasn't angry, just kind of chuckling under my breath like, wow, this is really happening. Yeah, let's make something clear, folks. Just because you are of Asian descent does not mean you have the coronavirus. It does not. The coronavirus originated in China, but other cases in, Caucasian and African Americans and French and Latinos, there have been cases for all of them because a lot of people go to China. So it's not an Asian, virus. It's not an Asian disease. It is a virus epidemic that is spreading, and it doesn't care what your skin color is. So Hahn said he did not report the driver to Uber. Weeks earlier, Hahn said he was told by a group of strangers in downtown Seattle to go back to my homeland. As the coronavirus spread, so too are racist attacks directed at people of Chinese descent. For ride-sharing platforms Lyft and Uber, these incidents appear to be happening despite their efforts to curb discriminatory behavior. One member of a Facebook group with more than 12,000 Lyft and Uber drivers noted that at least 5 posts per day mentioned the virus. The member, who shared screenshots with CNBC, said that many drivers were saying they did not want to pick up riders of Asian descent and that it was not safe to do so. Guys, it's perfectly safe to pick up Asian riders. It's no more unsafe to pick up them than any other person. And not just because of the virus, because you could be picking up someone who wants to mug you and you would have no idea. So this whole article shows how, this virus it's scaring people, okay? I don't want to, take away from that. Again, it's scary. This is real. And we don't know exactly what's going to happen. Again, I saw someone who, interestingly says not to panic, make a video like the coronavirus is going to wipe us all off the face of the earth in 2 years. We were saying the same thing about the SARS virus. And you know what happened with the SARS virus? It wore itself out. Basically, it was like a toddler. It ran around getting a lot of people sick, and then at one point fell down in exhaustion and died. I mean, where scientists are frantically trying to understand this. And look, it might get a little worse. It might get a little worse. But the thing is, you can't stop living life just because you may or may not get sick. You cannot be discriminating against Asians because you're afraid you may or may not get a virus. And I don't know what Uber can do, honestly, but I know that this whole suspending accounts, whether they be rider or driver, can definitely be abused, and it could not be a good thing. A lot of riders depend on Uber and Lyft to go somewhere, and if someone accuses, okay, this is such a dangerous thing. Someone accuses an Uber driver, or even a Lyft driver, but right now we're talking about Uber primarily. If they complain, hey, an Uber driver was coughing or had like a runny nose, I think they have the coronavirus, that driver loses his livelihood, and everyone who took an Uber with him now has their accounts deactivated just to try to keep it from spreading, and the guy might just have a cold. He might just have a cold. In fact, I'm going to say something. I was like kind of I texted someone yesterday, like, yeah, I have a little bit of a fever today, so I'm going to have to cancel our meeting. And the person asked, the coronavirus? I just responded and said, I hope not. I mean, I don't think I have the coronavirus. I mean, I'm feeling better, so I'm assuming I don't. But it kind of just shows that we're panicking a little bit. And we don't, in my opinion, I don't want to get to the point where I'm not treating people like human beings. And not saying like, hey, this person isn't this infectious, monster. It's not like this a Resident Evil game. They've got a cold or whatever. So I unfortunately, I'm probably going to have to talk about this some more in the future. I was hoping I wouldn't have to because, I'm not a scientist. Health crises are not my cup of tea. I don't want to panic people like this. The reason that I stirred up the feelings with Uber and Lyft and how you want to get out of it is because I have experience with them and I see the calculation they are doing to rip you off. But look, if you're too afraid to get in an Uber or Lyft, then you're probably too afraid to go outside. I go to movies multiple times a week and I'm in a dark room with a bunch of people. Not all of them are healthy. I am very much in danger of catching the coronavirus while I'm watching Little Women. I'm still going to do it because I have to live life. I have to live life. Whether it's the bird flu or SARS or anthrax, whatever, there's stuff that's going to get out there. The key is you just got to continue living as best as you can. Enjoy life as much as you can. Love as much as you possibly can as well. And I guess we're going to keep an eye on this Uber and Lyft thing because I don't entirely know what the solution is. Because again, there is some validity to being this cautious as well. The virus is spreading. It's getting worse. And Uber and Lyft probably want to be part of the solution. I don't know how effective that solution might be, though, by doing this. We'll have to wait and see. But in the meantime, what do you folks think about any of this? Do you think Uber was right to deactivate those accounts? Are you someone of Asian descent who are finding a little bit of discrimination on Uber and Lyft? And if so, what's that feel like? I would love to know. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.